Dean Zemsky, Dean Pyer, members of the faculty and staff, and especially dear INSEAD graduates of the MBA20J class. Woo! I'm sorry I'm 2 years late for your big day, but so are you, and so is everybody sitting here today. Congratulations on your big achievement. What an unusual celebration this is. And I should know, because it's my third time here at a commencement at INSEAD. The first time was back in 2005, when I myself graduated from the program. The second time was when my husband celebrated from INSEAD graduation as well. We had a newborn, my son Noah. I went through the INSEAD program as a young mother. Today is my third time, and I couldn't be more proud to have been invited as your commencement speaker. You graduated 2 years ago under the most unusual circumstances. Just as the pandemic was starting, suddenly there were zero certainties, no case studies for what happens when a virus changes every single aspect on how we live and how we work. What a challenge. What a moment to start your post-MBA career. You probably are the class that learned the fastest on how to adapt to change. And I hope you still share the belief that there is light even in the darkest times. And that's why today's ceremony is a good moment for you to take a deep breath and celebrate. Look around you. I think it's absolutely wonderful that you can be here together today with your families and the friends that you did at INSEAD. This is a moment of joy. This is a moment of gratitude. But it's also a moment to reflect. As INSEAD graduates, you had a head start. After all, INSEAD is one of the most demanding programs in the world. I experienced INSEAD as an amazing community of excellence and learning. I made friends for life, people with whom I deeply connect and share the same values. In fact, INSEAD put me in a travel around the world. 5 years in Asia, 7 years in the US, 4 years in Europe. My time at INSEAD was not the start of my career, but my year here at Fontainebleau and Singapore came at the right time. I was getting really frustrated at work. Yes, I had a deep yearning to have a positive impact and help people. But my corporate environment back then was mostly worried about its economic performance, and that did not fulfill me. Also, the leadership style I witnessed back then was very masculine. It was all about showing strength and little emotions, and that goes against my nature. So quickly I realized I was not finding my sense of purpose, and I was kind of losing myself. So coming to INSEAD provided an important break for me, an opportunity to reappraise my career, to think about what I should do with my life. Should I stick with business, or should I go to an NGO instead? Could I fully be myself at work and still be a business leader? I felt myself changing. But first, how about you? 2 years after INSEAD, where are you in your corporate journey? Are you still finding your place? What makes you happy in life? Wealth, corporate success, or maybe something else? Have you found your pillars of happiness? Sometimes it is not an easy question to answer. It takes courage to try new things to find the answers. It's simply easier sometimes to follow the advice around you and fit in. Or look at the world problems and say, that's not my problem. You can adopt a me-first mentality, where you simply surrender. You start to believe that you are too small to find solution for the world at the height it needs. Or even worse, you can protect yourself behind cynicism, becoming a cynic who doesn't believe change is possible anymore, or sees negative behind every good intention. I did not want to go that way. During my own time at INSEAD, I understood for the first time that leaders can be of different types and personalities. No one size fits all. And that I could have a positive impact on the world, be of value to society, and change things, especially from inside a corporation. Just to be clear, I did not have a master plan on how to do that. I didn't have a moment of enlightenment where I found my own personal zen. No. But here's what I did. I learned to choose where I worked and with whom I worked. With every job, I learned and discovered what I enjoy about my work. Because there are places that will help you thrive beyond wealth, prestige, or your own ego. I also learned how to set and protect boundaries between work and my personal life. Since my children were born, I have respected my family time every day. I learned I could have a career and be a mother at the same time. During my career, I've worked in 4 different industries for companies as diverse as Samsung, Google, and IKEA, across consumer electronics, digital platforms, and home furnishings. And now, since a few months, I'm working in the sports industry as the CEO of Decathlon, the first woman running a company of this size in this sector. So what's the red thread here? What did I learn? First, I managed to clarify what motivates me. Through all these experiences, I want to help with my actions to improve the world around me, to make it more sustainable, livable, help people, and do what I can to leave it behind better than how I found it. Through big or small improvements, this gives me purpose. To achieve this, I am determined to use all the opportunities that work and life give me. Secondly, during my journey, I discovered my pillars of happiness, the conditions that help me thrive. Make no mistake, when I left INSEAD, I was not very clear what I as a human needed to be happy. But allowing adventures and new experiences in life to guide me, I discovered more and more what mattered to me. Let me tell you, with hindsight, it's okay not to know these things in advance. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I learned to allow myself to dream big. Even if life is about taking the next step, about building things, even if you don't know where all of this is leading. I try to master my fears so I can take bold steps, grasp opportunities, make my own path, a path that makes me happy, a path that matters to me. To make those bold choices, I made sure a few criteria were met. Starts with respect. I always made sure that I worked for people that I could respect and that respected me. I also chose to work for companies where I feel the energy, the passion of people to build something positive. And finally, and most importantly, I always made sure that I can ring-fence time for my family. If that meant dropping everything at 5 p.m., to be home with my kids for playtime and dinner, then be it. Although these days it feels more like relearning or going back to school as I'm learning geometry with my elder one. And yes, I admit it, once they were gone to bed, I oftentimes worked late, catching up on things, but also I know to this day, I can only be the person that I want to be when I am grounded in my family. Please, avoid the thoughts on, don't worry, I'll catch up later on living my life. I'll catch up later on spending time with my family. Let me tell you, all we have is today. Because by the time we have reached this mystical moment of later, this one day, we might have run out of time. So here's my one piece of advice for you. Discover your purpose, your own pillars of happiness, at your own pace, and then pursue them. And always have faith. The moment you stop believing that things are possible, you have become a cynic. Try your best. Be your best. Always. This is not about others and what they think. This is about yourself and your own conscience. I said it before, this won't be easy. There will be moments of fear. There will be moments of self-doubt. Speaking from experience, I know that you can embrace fear and control it. And I know this can take a huge leap of faith. I remember just 4 years ago, I took such leap of faith. Back then, I was the chief marketing officer of Grubhub, the mobile food ordering and delivering marketplace. I was working in the cutting edge of the digital world, in a hyper-efficient environment for consumer electronics. I was based in the United States. But then, I got an offer from IKEA to become their chief digital officer, their first ever for them. The first member of their C-suite who had not climbed through the ladders of IKEA in a completely different industry that I didn't know, on another continent. Talk about leaving your comfort zone. What a challenge. When I said yes, I felt like an imposter. But then I also thought, why not me? The role and the company connected to every single one of my pillars of happiness. The role was a role with purpose. And it meant working for a company that was passionate about design, with a mission to create a better everyday life for the many. And IKEA is also pushing really hard on sustainability to build a better future for itself and for everybody. It was an amazing experience. I learned so much. I grew so much. It wasn't easy every day, but I am so happy that I embraced my fear and went for it. Choosing your path embracing your fear, taking these leaps of faith that should never be about wealth or promotion. It should always be about your own happiness and purpose. Believe me, when you try, good things come to you. Things you didn't even know were possible. Maybe things you never thought you could do. For me, personally, I don't know what's in my future. I have an exciting new job. I'm loving it already. I feel a huge buzz going around the company. But I haven't seen my limit yet. I haven't set myself a limit. But what I know is this. This time, I feel an urgency like never before. We really must step up, because there is not much time left to safeguard our world. To do my best for our planet, I also need to be my best. I can only do that when I'm living and working with my full self. Now, we all probably live with pandemic fatigue, but if you think that soon things will get better, I will have to disappoint you. The pandemic isn't over yet, and there are new problems: war, political tensions, the extremes of populism, and the biggest challenge of all, climate change. And that's why our world needs good and positive leaders. People who are ready to step up, to dare change things around them, not once they are the boss, but at every level. You will have seen the research. Around the world, the public expects business leaders to step up and speak out on the big social and economic issues, like global warming, inequality, discrimination, technology, and especially on jobs and the broader economy. Societal leadership has become a core business function. Leadership is about more than making big strategies and big statements. It comes down to every act, to every decision you take. Now, not in a decade from now. Every small gesture matters. The example you set as a person, as a business leader. We cannot duck the responsibility anymore. None of us. We cannot leave it to the next generation to sort things out. We have to radically change business models and build a world where systems are fair, that help humans live good lives and don't destroy the planet. 2 years after your graduation, you are not the leaders of tomorrow anymore. You are the leaders of today, the change makers, every day, at every level. You drive your life. Of course, you don't control everything, but you can make choices. Don't allow others to make choices for you. Embrace life with everything that it has to offer: the good, the bad, the fear, the joy. That's what makes you human. And that's why I want to ask you one more time. Think about it. What is it that makes you you, you? Can you? Will you avoid the easy path? You have a choice. You have a voice. And you have the responsibility. Our world needs you. Thank you very much.